We're live!
Feels weird being that far back.
Huh?
Feels weird being that far back. Jesus.
Oh yeah, especially the live.
Huh?
Good quality?
Yeah, they can see it. You can see it in the background.
Oh yeah, no. How is this camera good quality?
Yeah, no idea. You have to. Yes, every week.
I know.
And it's time for another North London derby.
Where's the fans?
Beating Arsenal when last they met. They have dropped off the pace since, but there's 7 points between them, and now Spurs once again closing in on the top four. Victory for them would leave them 3 points behind Chelsea and still with a game in hand for Arsenal. It's about closing the gap to the top six just as fast as they possibly can. What about the way that Arsenal play out from the back, Freddie? The last 2 goals they conceded against Olympiacos and Burnley last week have become, because of errors, playing from Leno to his teammates. Would you expect them to carry on doing it the same way as Arteta has spoken about?
Yeah, I think so, because I know Mikel, that's how he wants them to play. He wants them to keep on going. I think that's a fine way to find how to do that, to hit it long maybe sometimes when you have to. I haven't found that yet.
It's just another element of intrigue, isn't it, to this fascinating build-up to a North London derby. And our match commentators, Alan Smith, alongside Martin Tyler.
Fascinating indeed, David. Let's just check the teams for you. Mikel Arteta assessing the effects of Europa League action, travel to and from Athens, and as it's turned out, on the discipline in his squad before naming this side. But Leno is in goal as usual. Just one alteration for the back four, Cedric in for Hector Bellerin. Thomas Partey played less than an hour against Olympiacos because of a sore toe, but he's good to go here. And 20-year-old Emil Smith-Rowe comes back in after a hip problem, and he joins the other two who are 19 and 22, respectively. Alex Lacazette is the main striker and the captain because Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang stood down for a breach of matchday protocol. Jose Mourinho reverts to a lineup more in keeping with last Sunday's win over Crystal Palace. Hugo Lloris and most of the squad have never won here in the league in Tottenham's colours. From Thursday, Doherty, Alderweireld and Reguilon returning to the back line. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, a substitute against Zagreb, keeps up his record of starting every Premier League game. Gareth Bale was part of the only Spurs side to gain 3 points at the Emirates over 10 years ago now. Harry Kane's knock on the knee against Dinamo Zagreb has not kept him out of the rivalry, which is the all-time leading scorer. Harry Winks is the only starter from last Sunday who finds himself on the bench today. It is Derby Day in North London, and it's live.
Well, I think Odegaard has been slowly improving in an Arsenal shirt. Always wants the ball, takes responsibility. And that power drive we scored in Athens on Thursday, that might just give him the confidence to move on to the next level. But I'm sure that Højbjerg nipping at his heels today. Can he get past that? I wondered whether Jose Mourinho might go for the more defensive option in Ben Davies, but no. He's picked a left back who can add a lot to Tottenham's attacks. He's a great cross of the ball. He'll be running onto Cedric at times. So interesting to see how that one turns out.
Well, Jose Mourinho's side have won their last 5 in a row. Both clubs come into the derby in form. Arsenal with just 1 defeat in their last 7. Well, the Premier League Chief Executive Richard Masters confirming this week that taking the knee will continue before every game until the end of the season. Though Wilfried Zaha of Crystal Palace exerted his right to be an exception. Yes.
Very happy Mother's Day. Well, no one's going to take it, mate.
Who the hell are you talking to, mate? I've been serious.
I mean, he's still got to play.
Come on!
An absentee, at least from the start.
Yeah, we don't know what the offence is, do we? But he's the club captain at the end of the day, and you expect him to lead by example. So it is disappointing.
The line has been crossed. That was
Oh, no, it's weird now. Fuck it. I've lost my job now. Gabriel's dancing.
Otherwise, the selection's very much as expected for this special occasion in this part of the capital. Michael Oliver has experienced it before as a referee, and he's the man about to get the game underway after the taking of the knee.
Come on, you guys!
As I say, both in form. It is a rivalry that goes back to Arsenal invading Tottenham territory, getting on for 110 years ago. They were a South London club. Here's Reguilon. Arsenal might have had the disadvantage of the travel, but everything was done pretty much the best possible way. They stayed overnight in Athens on Thursday, had some training in good weather in that country before travelling back at their leisure almost really to arrive at Luton Airport in the evening on Friday. They trained at their own training base yesterday. Spurs, of course, haven't had to travel at all, not even to this fixture.
Arsenal haven't had the best results after these Europa League games, but the last one against Leicester turned out pretty good. Hoping for something similar out here. You can kind of predict the two sets of teams a little easier now than earlier in the season. Tottenham got a better record.
Of course, they could meet each other in the Europa League. They're both well placed to go through to the next round. Here's Gabriel, who scored in Athens. A bit of a comeback in that respect from Arsenal. And you mentioned Odegaard got a very good goal. Here's Smith Rowe. Odegaard is coming in.
Oh, that was nice.
Clever. The run off the ball there from Smith Rowe, just behind Højbjerg.
Yeah, there is a suggestion that Smith Rowe's been shunted out to the left-hand side to accommodate Odegaard, but Arsenal allow him license to come infield. Those two, without occupying the same space, to have the capacity to interchange. Bukayo Saka, one of the first names on the team sheet these days, starting out on the right-hand side as usual. He'll have to deal with both Reguilon and Son. I feel Son's had to sacrifice a little bit in his game, with Gareth Bale coming back into form, coming back to the club first and foremost. Taking a while to ignite, but he's in very good form. 6 goals in his last 7 appearances, 3 assists as well.
Yeah, there'll be more occasions now, and I'll pass the ball to the right rather than the left. Such is the form of Bale at the moment. Interesting to see the approach of Tottenham, though. They have been more attack-minded of late, taking the game to the opposition. Is it going to continue here in the derby?
Lacazette, blocked off by Sanchez.
Yeah, nice bit of quick footwork from the centre forward here. There's a nutmeg.
No, we're not sure whether he would have been in the original selection or not when Aubameyang was dropped. Whether Smith Rowe was the player brought in, or whether Aubameyang would have played through the middle, as he, of course, has been doing. And they've been working hard, Arsenal, on getting more out of him in that position. So in the 4th minute, set piece possibilities for the Gunners. In by Odegaard. Be retrieved by David Luiz here. It's a decent cross too. Sanchez defends it well against Gabriel. And then Doherty. He comes out to Tierney. Spurs you mentioned quite rightly, Alan, they've been scoring plenty of goals, but they haven't lost their defensive core, which is the real focal point of Jose Mourinho's managerial style. But they have scored 102 goals now in 40. And the shot by Lacazette is blocked. Tierney, who's not shy, hammering it goalwards or across the face of goal. Put in a lot of crosses when they met at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, even though Arsenal were beaten.
Yeah, that was more of a cross shot just to see who might be able to get on the end of it. They had so much of the ball at Tottenham, though, didn't they, Arsenal? And got mugged with a couple of counters.
Yeah, there was that strange second goal when Thomas Partey was walking off the pitch. One light as he felt an injury. Couldn't continue. It was untimely, his exit, shall we say. Off goes Kane. Leno able to distribute safely, unlike on Thursday, when I think he probably had to share maybe at least half the blame, maybe more, with Dani Ceballos, who was the player who was actually caught in possession. There is a time and a place to play from the back. Here's David Luiz.
Ceballos didn't thank his keeper for that pass. This is the fact that Arsenal have made mistakes, but everyone seems to have ended in a goal. The sides might have been a bit more fortunate.
I'm sure their plan is to give the goalkeeper options, where go short is the preferred choice. Maybe David Luiz can hit a longer ball like that. Here comes Hugo Lloris. Plenty of experience of these games. 9 matches in this stadium in the Premier League without a clean sheet. Arsenal try and keep that run going here.
Lacazette's looked sharp to begin with, which bodes well for Arsenal in the absence of Aubameyang. Seen a bit of the ball, looking nice and lively.
Yeah, he scored home and away in the derby last season. He hasn't scored here very often. He got a Boxing Day goal, a crucial one, and Chelsea. That was a pivotal day for Arsenal, who started to get going again. Well, that was his only home goal since September. But keeping his thoughts to himself would be the best policy. It'd be interesting to see if he does come on, and if he does come on, whether he's given the armband. As captains tend to be kicked out in that way by those who've stepped up for leadership from the off, just like Lacazette's done here. Partey.
Yeah, well, Tottenham just decided to sit in for the opening spell of this game. Try and get a feel for it. And now in Arsenal, plenty of the ball.
Well, the results went for Spurs yesterday, didn't they? With Chelsea drawing and Everton losing at home. They've really got possibilities of the top 4 for Jose Mourinho. It would be quite an achievement. And he's got a very good record against the team that he manages against today. 2 defeats in 22 previous encounters. He was a thorn in the sides of Arsene Wenger. And Wenger did choose those. He did have those 2 victories on his CV, a Community Shield, in which Arteta actually came on as a substitute. And a win here when Mourinho was manager of Manchester United. Here's Kane. Here's Matt Doherty. Started perhaps a little slower than he would have wanted from his move from Wolves, but it's edging ahead of Aurier. Now Bale, it's a clever cross with the outside of his left foot. Well claimed by Leno. Wanted to trigger an Arsenal counter-attack, but there was no great movement on that page from his teammates.
That's the kind of mood that Gareth Bale is in. He tried one of those on Thursday and found its target. Confidence is flowing at the for him.
He's got a good record from his previous spell. 5 goals in 10 previous derbies. Kane, of course, is the all-time scorer in this fixture, leading scorer with 11. Now David Luiz. Partey. It's a good point Jose Mourinho made in his pre-match interview with Patrick Davis about both sides pretty clear of injuries at this stage with such a hectic schedule. There's a lot for the medical departments of both clubs and for the general level of fitness of the players, of course. Here goes David Luiz, expansively. Tierney. Alderweireld gets his head to it, Doherty gets his head to it. A hesitation by Bale. He's Ødegaard. Spurs are wise to stopping him moving on to his left foot. Here's Cedric in for Bahrain today. He's had a fair number of first team outings, some of them at left back when Tierney was out.
But Tierney's enjoying a good start. Bale not always funneling back with him, so he's finding space to run onto Doherty.
So throw with Sanchez drawn out of the middle. Haven't got Lucas Moura into the game at all yet. Here's Saka, who's certainly in the picture. And Alderweireld, who claimed he was being shoved by the youngster. Michael Oliver's not having that, and it is a corner for Arsenal.
Well, they are sitting off Spurs at the moment, inviting Arsenal onto them. Just slips in between the two players, Saka.
But as you mentioned, Alan, that was the modus operandi for the game earlier in the season. And then to counter-attack with menace and deadly finishing. At the moment, it's Tottenham's defending that's under scrutiny. Lucas Moura didn't quite get there. Seen out by Sanchez. Must have to go all the way back to Leno, who's being worked as an outfield player here. Saka knew where Lacazette was, but the striker just moved away. Here's Granit Xhaka.
Yeah, 75% possession. I think they actually had about 70 over the whole piece at Tottenham. Arsenal. It's making it count now. That's the harder part.
Saka. Cedric's a good cross through the ball. There's no one really attacking it for Arsenal. It breaks for Smith Rowe. Lacazette waiting on the edge of the area. Tierney. Xhaka. At the moment, the flag hasn't gone up. In by Cedric again.
You can imagine Spurs fans watching at home just frustrated by the start their team has made. A little too passive, I'm sure, for their liking.
And Cedric's got in behind here. And now Bukayo Saka put a little bit too much on it. But they haven't really got an aerial presence. Well, Lacazette, for his height, is good in the air and fights to get in front of defenders. His claim there was that he was being balked at the back post.
Yeah, Doherty had hold of him. But not quite enough, obviously.
Well, Sanchez still can be nerves in the derby even without a crowd.
I was going to say, these derbies more than any other fixture really, where the crowd can make a difference, where it can just be 100-mile-an-hour stuff, the ball never sits still. Without fans, it can be a bit more measured, can't it?
Met by Sanchez for Spurs. I mentioned there's 102 goals. That's their best return after 45 games since the 62-63 season, when they were one of the very top sides around, not just in England, but they won a European trophy, the old Cup Winners' Cup. But in a season where Jose Mourinho has been criticised for a defensive approach, those stats are useful ammunition for him. David Luiz. Saka setting off to try and run off Reguilon. Lloris has to go again. And that's
somebody in it.
Go to Bale, or nearly to Bale. Lloris is scampering back. Ødegaard. And now Saka really recovered from the goalkeeper coming out. They're set a little bit better, Spurs now. Partey. Here's Granit Xhaka, who's
Ah.
a decent record, I think.
Didn't do that when he was at
goals
this.
in the Premier League have been from outside the area. It's a bit of an adventure here for Hugo Lloris.
Yeah, I mean, when he first came into the Tottenham side, he was the sweeper keeper, wasn't he? Over recent months, he's been accused of staying on his line too much. That's twice now. He's had to race out. All got a bit awkward.
It's fortunate when he got his foot to the ball. If it had gone straight to an Arsenal player, the goal would have been gaping even from distance. But Gareth Bale did enough to stop Arsenal getting it cleanly. Jose Mourinho wanting a bit more from his team, you sense, with almost 15 minutes gone. Hardly a Spurs attack worthy of the name. Navarro helped out by Reguilon. He's taken it into trouble in the shape of Odegaard. Here's Smith Rowe.
Oh!
Oh! Living dangerously here. And they do get a bit of breathing space because of so close to what would have been his first Premier League goal.
Well, there's two or three red and white shirts here. What are they? 25 yards from goal in all sorts of space, and he's got more than enough time, Smith Rowe, to size up his options.
Oh my God!
Oh, what?
Fine effort.
3 in the Europa League, 1 in the Carabao Cup, 1 in the FA Cup, but none in the big league. Not yet, anyway. I do feel it won't be too long in coming, and if Spurs continue to sit back like this, it might even come today in a North London derby. And Ndombele. Now Sanchez.
I mean, there's no doubt that Tottenham's strength lies in attack, and that's why they've been successful over recent weeks. But can't get the strikers involved at the moment.
Kane just gets a little flick there. Maybe his second or third touch of the game. Off goes Son though, inside Cedric, but the ball's too long.
Oh, he's pulled up there, just feeling his hamstring, is it?
Ah! He's gone! He's gone! He's gone!
So much.
It looks as though, in assessing the injury himself, he might feel it's a premature end to this North London derby. He scored and assisted in each of the last 2.
Yeah, Bruno Daniele, yeah.
Hey,
He's been on the periphery of the game and then suddenly he was launching into a full sprint here.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, he's been just funneling back, defending. That's the first time, really, he's opened his legs and got into a sprint.
Well, Jose Mourinho might have to modify his remarks about injuries. Giovanni Lo Celso was the player he was mentioning, the one injury that they have got on the roster. This looks as though it might be number 2 and a key player.
Bye-bye, son!
Lamella is the obvious replacement.
Yeah, I wondered whether Dele Alli having a warm up, whether he'd go
Bye.
Lucas Moore if he come to the left, but no.
So a blow for Spurs, who haven't started well here and have now a real injury worry. Eric Lamella, who was signed to replace Gareth Bale all those years ago. And this season they find themselves side by side and now in a North London derby.
It is Lamella that's going to play more centrally, though. Lucas Moore has shifted out to Son's position.
It's overcame and dealt with by David Luiz. You do tend to look at Arsenal more carefully when they're playing from the back after they've been their own worst enemies in recent games.
Yeah, Xhaka must still be having nightmares about that Burnley incident.
Alderweireld. Now Doherty. Supported by Bale. Spurs just trying to put some passes together further up the pitch. Actually, there was a chance there for Lamela to play it to Doherty. Made a good run in behind. Emphasising the slowness of Spurs' start. But Doherty just peeled back into position, frustrated expression on his face. So if Lamela had been able to use his right foot there, the right back would have been in. Reguilón. Part of the job for Jose Mourinho to really persuade Gareth Bale that the only way of getting into this thing would to be playing in a sort of inverted left-footed role on the right-hand side. Seeing himself as a central striker, having joined the club originally as a left-back, of course. Lamela. Bale swings it across to Reguilón. It's got Lucas Moura now ahead of him. Son's departure. And Dombele. Good foot stuck out.
That's a yellow, surely.
Yellow!
Dombele trying to retrieve
The fuck?
Just where the free kick. Arsenal take it quickly.
Yeah, he knew he had to make some kind of a challenge, probably some kind of a foul, because Arsenal had many support there for the counter-attack.
Gabriel. Now David Luiz. Odegaard. So would like to sign him on a permanent deal. It'll be interesting to see what kind of funds Mikel Arteta will be given in the next transfer window from the American ownership. Remember, Arsenal are 10th in the table. Yes, the Europa League is going well. They've been very, very good in that competition. The throw's already hit the bar.
Oh!
That's a bit of a slice from Thomas Partey. Didn't approach it with massive confidence.
Well, it was a difficult one, wasn't it? Coming across his body, he's got to connect with it, time it perfectly. But just waiting for this match to take off, aren't we, really?
Well, we're hearing from newspaper reports what Freddie Ljungberg actually said in the studio an hour or so ago, that it was late today. And on match days, whether you're captain, top scorer, whatever, the management's going to impose those kind of disciplinary rules.
Seriously,
There's no
late.
exception.
No.
It could be Tom Trafford, you never know.
Lamborghini maybe broke down, I don't know.
So he was late.
Well, you played for George
He was
Graham.
late
I'm
to the
that's strict
stadium.
rules, didn't you?
So you risk losing the game because he's
You
late.
got to stick with them, and Arteta's done that since coming to the club.
I don't think he's known for his timekeeping. But anyway, let's concentrate on those who are playing. They're the most important ones. And throws cross cleared, and Spurs look to counter-attack, set up for that, but less so with Son's departure. Jose Mourinho, remember, trying to be the first Tottenham manager to win his first 3 North London derbies. Mikel Arteta trying to be the first Arsenal manager to avoid losing his first three. Here's another little piece of history that Spurs could grab as well. They're unbeaten in 5 matches against their neighbours, never 6. Here's David Luiz. Easily past Kane. Now Saka. Support arriving in the shape of Odegaard. A man from Real Madrid, remember the Norwegian international. Gabriel drives it out to Tierney, who loves to drive forward with the ball, but he uses Smith Rowe as an assistant here. Maybe more than that, he's taken on the mantle of setting up.
Oh!
Well, the burst of acceleration there, Martin, wasn't it, from Smith Rowe? He's eased past his man. Neuberg, I think it was, and does find the pass. It's a chance this for Lacazette. Completely gets it wrong.
Nowhere near. They're trying to flick it off. Dombele facing his own byline, the way he wants to play. Lamela trying to get out and get at Gabriel. Arsenal must be aware that there is the possibility of being caught by a Spurs sucker punch. But they are watching the game at the moment and have been really since the off.
It's almost as if Spurs are waiting for that
Rope-a-dope.
mistake.
Backheader by Lucas Moura. David Luiz. Xhaka. Off goes Smith Rowe again. Tierney this time goes back to Granit Xhaka.
That left side's been Arsenal's most dangerous avenue, though, with Smith Rowe, Tierney.
Yeah, Højbjerg's been drawn that way across, hasn't he, to try and help block the approach play. He's been in behind Gareth Bale, who does his share of defending there. Ruiz has to kick long, and that suits Arsenal. Cedric. The Reguilon in smartly on Saka, and a touch from Kane. Lamela won't get away because of tenacious work by Xhaka. Doherty trying to steal a yard or two. And, Michael Oliver noting that Xhaka and Lamela, two rather combustible characters, have come together.
Neither shine coming forward.
Well, an experienced official who knows the temperaments of the players that he deals with week in, week out.
Just that little flick of the boot by Lamela. Upset Xhaka.
Yes, it was Lamela who was involved in the incident when Spurs won at Manchester United that saw Martial retaliate and get sent off. Provoked some interesting comments from Graham Souness. Reguilon trying to get that.
He's not been able to get into the final third and swinging any crosses so far.
Arsenal trying to avoid conceding a Premier League double against Spurs. Spurs' only Premier League double. Alan Smith was a player for Arsenal, but certainly didn't play the second game. It was 4 days before the cup final, 92-93.
I played in that game.
You did play, did you?
Yeah, because I scandalously got dropped for the cup final.
Oh yes, you did. I promise you, I'd forgotten that.
I hadn't. Yeah, we got well beat that day.
Yeah, 3-1 at Highbury. And you go back, and the 2 Spurs away wins in 35 league visits. Only one here. It's the one where Gareth Bale inspired the comeback, 2-0 down. He made it 2-1, and Harry Redknapp's team went on to win 3-2. That was the other one at Highbury. Regular. Now on the viral. Game being played a little bit further up the pitch from Tottenham's point of view. Lucas Moura, pursued by Cedric, fouled by Cedric.
He's been busy since coming on. Lamela had that little set 2 with Xhaka. And then another little flick on David Luiz, who makes nothing of it. That's a foul.
It's his 8th season as a Tottenham player. Here's Alderweireld. And Dombele. Arsenal's turn just to sit off a bit. Reguilon. From Tottenham's point of view, it's been a cautious first third of the game.
Yeah, I think we could describe it as that. Is this intentional, or is this just how it's turned out? I mean, you have to imagine it's a game plan so far for Spurs.
Sanchez. Kane trying to get Lamela through the centre. I think it's 250th game for Spurs, Eric Lamela today. Wouldn't want to mar it by getting into too much trouble, but he's shown he's up for a battle, not just a footballing battle. Here's Lucas Moura. Michael Oliver playing the advantage. It was a challenge by Partey that looked like a foul. Oibia. Now Sanchez. It's Arsenal's turn to sit in, really. Spurs getting greater numbers forward. Maybe trying to create a chance for the man who's done so much damage to Arsenal down the years, Harry Kane. Quite in his territory here. Reguilon. It's Lucas Moura. It's Lamela.
Oh, fuck off. Their first fucking shot.
For the goal. And Spurs
Fucking joke.
soaked up some Arsenal pressure, leading the derby, and you can see what it means to the players. No crowd or what? Well, they're fired up.
I've said it's been busy, but this is spectacularly busy, isn't it? One of those little flicks that invariably don't come off. But this time it's just trundled into the far corner. It's a good pick out by Reguilon actually on the volley into Lucas Moura. And then it's all about the imagination of Lamela.
That's brilliant.
And nutmeg on the way too. And that game plan we were talking about, it's worked.
Well, he's had 1 or 2 flicks at opponents. He's had a flick at the ball there. And he's done far more damage to Arsenal than the earlier incidents. Arsenal 0, Spurs 1, Eric Lamela.
Well, maybe that'll spark the game into life. I know Arsenal have had most of the ball, but it's been a bit less frenetic than you'd expect a derby to be.
Well, Brad Leonard hadn't been troubled to that point.
Yeah.
1 attempt, 1 goal.
Super sub.
I'm sure he's thinking of something else. But the sadness of losing Son has a silver lining in the arrival of Lamela. Well, they dropped a lot of points in these fixtures in the past. In fact, for both sides, scoring first in the derby has not always been a pathway to glory. In the Premier League years, Alan, Spurs have dropped 42 points against Arsenal from winning positions. So it's not a done derby yet by any means, but it's a strike of inspiration, impishness, call it what you will. It was Eric Lamela. Here's a party mistake by Sanchez, taken on by Smith Rowe here. Whips it across. Alison Sanchez there to make up for his error. Tierney underneath it. Smith Rowe, nice work between the two Arsenal players here. Back to Gabriel. Partey. For Cedric. Trying to hook it back rather than cut across it because it took it too close to the goalkeeper.
Well, I wasn't expecting that, I'm sure. A few signs of Spurs doing damage.
The team scoring first has failed to win this fixture 27 times. Well, and Spurs have scored first here.
The man will be watching this a few times tonight.
Whatever the final score.
Yeah, audacious stuff from him. Even the pass from Lucas Moore was just a bit behind him, so it's forced him into that almost.
Also have to clear their heads. Try and carry on what they've been doing well up to that point. And here's Smith Rowe, has been at the forefront of it. Lacazette.
Oh!
Fuck's sake, where's everybody?
Oh!
For fuck's sake!
And Lloris didn't even dive. So they've twice hit the frame of the Tottenham goal. There's Erdegaard. Saka.
Oh, come on!
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Make a strong enough contact.
Well, that's incredible, isn't it? I mean, did he get a shout? Forcing him to let it go, but even if you do, take responsibility. He was in a great position.
But even so, Cedric so close to making it a good decision. Doesn't look as though he's going to win that race with Lucas Moura, but he's got his foot to it, and how?
Well, Arsenal are getting joy. He's got that left-hand side dot. He's really struggling when Smith Rowe attacks him. Struggling for pace.
Gabriel. Here's Tierney. He's exposed again. Now back to try and help. Arsenal maybe a little slower that time, but Lacazette's found a good run down that inside left slot. And goal kick is the decision.
Well, he's made several good runs behind his man, Smith Rowe. But I don't know what was going through the centre forward's mind. As you say, Cedric very nearly made something of it. Gets there in front of his man and catches it really well. Despite the challenge from Lucas Moura.
And after a slow start, the game has really come to life. With Arsenal chasing it. Spurs have won 6 of the last 20 Premier League meetings with Arsenal, which they've opened the scoring. So, don't want to be pouring too much cold water on it on the Tottenham supporters who will be delighted, not just with the goal, but the nature of it.
He's been in good form now, hasn't he, over the last few months, no matter whether he started or come off the bench.
And Jose Mourinho has not hidden his admiration. He said, but it's got to be a fit Lamela. There's been too many times when he hasn't been fit. And, the card is coming out here.
Reguilon claiming he got the ball. He didn't appear so.
He does get the card.
Maybe claiming it was his first foul. Certainly didn't get the ball. He's dived in. Just so quick up on his feet, Saka. Sometimes you think you've got the ball and you've made contact with the player.
Here's Cedric. Rubier. Been very consistent for Tottenham this season. First season, of course, from Southampton. And their toils have continued today. Only a game against Brighton. Cedric also from that parish as well. Here's Saka in behind. A challenge from Reguilon. A corner's given. Reguilon having just been booked. Need to be particularly careful.
Yeah. In the end, Saka running out of space, but Reguilon's challenge didn't do what he wanted to.
Corner works short. Cedric crosses, not deep enough. Out by Matt Doherty. And Lamela in spiky fashion. The thing is, you could be watching this and thinking, oh, it's a derby. That's what Lamela's pumped up today. He's like this every time he plays. Yeah. Lacazette, bit of hesitation by Sanchez. Lacazette has got it to Saka. Spurs have worked him out of the penalty area and worked him out in that instant. Lucas Moura giving his team a bit of breathing space, no more than that. David Luiz to Smith Rowe. Continuing with the first time cross. Arsenal get a corner, running out of time in the first half to get themselves level.
Yeah, familiar theme coming down that left-hand side for Arsenal. Created plenty of problems for Spurs.
Familiar theme for Arsenal in a Mourinho derby. The defensive setup, the low block leading to a breakaway goal. Actually heads out well again. Partey. Cedric. And now David Luiz playing wide right. It's going to be a corner. It's Reguilon defend, and then Sanchez has to do something similar again. The previous clearance was just a boot upfield. Spurs trying to secure this 1-0 lead to half-time. Swung wide by Thomas Partey. Saka found by Smith Rowe, who's involved again. To climb, the ball was a little bit too high for him.
I'm sure Jason Mourinho will do something about the problems that have been on that far side, but this is what separated them so far. Reguilon does ever so well. It's difficult to get the power on these kind of little bits of skill, never mind about the direction, but both came together perfectly.
The Rabona. The Lamela. 1-0. On from Kane, but to no purpose. And surely it is more down to Arsenal forcing the pace than Jose Mourinho wanting his side to sit in and invite this kind of pressure. And yeah, there have been a few clear-cut chances, but they've been arriving quite a regular basis, particularly down this flank as you spotted up, Alan. And it comes to Odegaard!
Yes! Yes! Come on! Yeah!
Martin Odegaard having scored his first goal for the club in midweek, gets his first Premier League goal for Arsenal in a derby as well.
You can't say they don't deserve it, can you? Yet another really good attack down the left-hand side, and Teedy does ever so well just to skate past his man. Too easy for Tottenham's liking, and a little bit of luck with the deflection, yes. They got into these positions so often. Arsenal, Rafael de Vero, Hugo Lloris cannot get across. A timely equaliser, it's just before half-time.
And a deserved one. It's been a story of the two number 11s. As I said earlier, Arsenal hoping that a permanent deal can be done with Real Madrid. They've been giving him a lot of football. He's pretty much started every game since he was signed. The curse of scoring first in the North London derby. We'll see. We'll go any which way from here, but he'll be feeling a little bit happier. Minutes added time. And the tenacity and the physical nature of the play again. A reminder that this is a derby, and yes, of course, the place will be rocking with fans in here, but the players know what's at stake for the absent fans, for the managers. Lacazette giving chase, and so too is Cedric. And it's time for a corner, is there? We're in added time. We'll be a little bit unhappy. This is always a dilemma for officials. They blow before the corner's taken.
Can't play anyway, it's not 2 minutes.
I know, what's he on about? There's not 2 minutes yet. What are you on about?
Third minute of added time.
What do you mean third minute? What clock are you looking at?
Maybe send Arsenal in the lead. Still no half-time whistle.
That's not time yet!
Only moments away.
It's not time! Seriously!
Blows the whistle.
Are you
what is that?
That is blindness, commentator.
Defended a lot. Got a priceless goal from the Mella. On as a substitute early for Son. It was superbly taken. But Martin Odegaard, side by side, they go in together. And the teams are side by side in the North London derby. But Arsenal have had more of the ball and will be more optimistic about the second half. But we reach the break at the Emirates. Arsenal 1, Tottenham 1.
The Euro stream has been hijacked.
This is a bench. Yeah, they're right.
What's he got him?
Rise to the challenge and join the
What's he got?
hunt in Monster Hunter Rise. Ride out
Well, look,
with your
Luke.
canine companion, explore lush ecosystems with brand new abilities, and track down ferocious
It's got a little
monsters. To learn, or team up with friends in order to protect your village from certain doom. Monster Hunter Rise, only on Nintendo Switch. Pre-order now at Game.
The Sports Direct Back to School sale is now on. Save up to 70% on trainers, jackets, shoes and backpacks. Shop online today at sportsdirect.com.
At Hasbro, we launch dozens of Monopoly games every year, and one thing that is consistent through all of those is testing. We did most of it at our headquarters, but when the pandemic hit, it was just kind of like, how are we going to do that?
Now we have testing through teams,
It's enabled us to open up to the entire world.
different cultural backgrounds, and a different understanding of a game. We're getting input from everyone everywhere. Teams is a new way for us to look at how we go forward in the future.
Bring it on. Spirits like yours deserve long-lasting bubbles like these. Schweppes, we've got the tonic, you've got the spirit.
Sick of this. Get those Just Eat fools online for me. You don't do this doggy style.
If somebody say just
Get delivery like a G. See, hungry dogs gotta eat. I get mine every day, every week. Chicken wings to the crib, I'm sitting. Burger in the hotel. Hope they get the picture. One time on the cattle brain. Oodles and noodles. Thank you, my man. Tacos to the chateau. Please, did somebody say just eat? Private jet in the night sky. My man hand glide with my fried rice. Right? What could you not look? Buy a slice on the side of the hot tub. Oh, what you gon' do, boo? Chocolate bars do right on cake. Even dipping in the sea. I see food, seafood, is me. Justeat. Just eat.
look in the mirror, how do you see? You see it clearer, how you see?
Gillette Pro Glide, designed with our sharpest blades and a pivoting flex ball that responds to contours for incredible closeness.
I'm only human,
Your face says so much without saying a word. Trust your shave to our best and put your best face forward. Gillette, the best a man can get.
She takes a sidewalk, you hop on and turns it into a stage. Just
when there's no need to plug in. Why stop? New Toyota Yaris self-charging hybrid.
Freddie Youngberg and Michael Dawson here with Jamie Redknapp. But it took a while to get going, this North London derby. And then, Jamie, we were treated to one of the most incredible goals I think we've ever seen in the Premier League. This is one of the best goals I've ever seen in the Premier League. We've seen 30-yarders, we've seen great volleys, we've seen great team goals. We've never seen anything like this. We did it in the Europa League game a few years back. But the audacity to do it in a North London derby, the improvisation there as it comes behind in Rabona, as they call it, is absolutely world class. It's an amazing piece of skill because he sort of, as it comes back to him, he has to work his feet really quickly, stuns it. He knows it has to go low. It goes through Partey's legs and goes into the regular reaction. It's brilliant, isn't it? It hits it so hard. Look at this. Look at the power he gets into it. Brilliant.
It's absolutely sensational. Incredible. From Gareth, long pass, spoke about Regulon getting forward. Put them on the back foot. It's the first time they got forward, really. Plays that ball across, touched by Lucas Moura, and then the rest from Eric Lamela. When he came on, real energetic.
He should have been on the pitch.
No, well, he wouldn't have been, would he? Had Son not done his hamstring, he wouldn't have been. And then that goal, absolutely sensational.
Extraordinary stuff from Spurs. And that was their first foray into Arsenal's box as well. It's their only shot so far. Arsenal have had 10. Is it just reward that they found their way back into the game, Freddie?
Yes, I think so. I think Arsenal, if you look at just playing wise, a better team, and they deserve it. But here we look at some defender, one against one from KT, like that can't happen. It was great little cross, there's a little deflection in the goal. So I think on the whole they deserved it. But what I said to the boys here, I was nervous when Arsenal dominating because that's what Spurs do. Then all of a sudden they hit something and that's how you score the goal. So it's how the match is looking, I get a bit nervous.
It didn't feel like it was going to be their day, did it?
No, with all these great chances, and you don't score, and you think like, oh, it's not your day, but you've got the break in the end.
And getting joy down Spurs' right-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, look, we spoke about Gareth before, but I think what the goal came from with Tierney 1v1 against Doherty. It's too easy. He gets there, crosses the ball. They get a little bit fortunate with the goal where it comes off Toby Alderweireld's leg, but they've got to stop the ball at source. Stop the ball getting down the right, and then 1v1, Doherty's got to be better.
Because there's nothing beautiful with Gareth Bale go down that side, but Doherty is in a one-on-one with Tierney. You've got to do your job. You've got to at least block the cross, and it's been too easy for him, but I agree with Freddie, Arsenal being by far the better side. Some terrific entertainment after a really slow start to this North London derby. Wasn't it just amazing from Romero? It gets better every time you see it. But Arsenal are right back in this at the Emirates, and now we have a real contest on our hands in the second half.
You never start this thing. I will let you go.
Hurry up.
You chasing losses again. That dog's got more chance of catching its tail. Think before you bet. Tapper, take a moment. Avoid bet regret.
Strength is man, ineptness, fragrance for man.
Boy, cut it out.
Man is. Oh, what's that name?
Forget all this nonsense. Use your nose. Aftershaves, deodorants, roll-ons, they're all about smelling good. Not success. Or being someone you ain't, so grab yourself some brew. Just smells good. No messing about.
We're still here. Still working from our bedrooms. Still job hunting from the living room floor. Still trying to balance home life with work life. But with your LinkedIn community by your side, connecting you with the people that can help, supporting you with the updates you need. We know, however tough it gets, we'll work it out together.
Hey, how's my little bundle of joy today? Hi, Mum. How are you, my love? Yeah, so good. No. Have you tried the rugby hold? Let me show you. So this is baby. So it's like this. I'll get there. Oh, you're doing a great job, love. Wish I got you this before my nipples got sore.
Crispy golden family feast. Okay, that's
Simple, elegant, yet home.
to infinity and beyond.
We scare. Because we care.
Available now at tkmaxx.com.
Nothing compares to a real holiday, to giving yourself time to relax and recharge, especially when you know that everything's taken care of. The Team Holiday Promise puts flexibility first, with free changes plus complete peace of mind. Book your summer holiday with confidence. Nothing compares. TUI, discover your smile at All Protected.
Bit of a nervous smile there, Neil. Twins. On top of these two. But you're the one who didn't want me. Anyways, now you need a bigger motor. You need Cinch.
Cinch?
Cinch lets you buy a quality checked used car online. No haggling, with free home delivery and a 14-day money-back guarantee. Lovely. You got it for a what, Neil? A slip. You're in the driving seat now, Britton.
When crafting the new all-electric Lexus UX, we ask one question. How does it feel? The new all-electric Lexus UX. It's how it feels. I woke up next to a dead man.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. And welcome aboard.
Edging closer to
One shot changes everything. Everything's on the line for his career.
The Red King White 2, live on Sky Sports box office.
Reguilon, it's Lucas Moura. It's Lamela. It's got in. Eric Lamela has arrived with a goal. Comes to Odegaard. Deflected in. It is 1-1.
Arsenal got one, might have got many more, but it's one apiece at the Emirates in a year on from lockdown. So much big sport to look forward to. Coming your way this month, big boxing at Sky Sports box office event as Povetkin takes on White's Part 2. That's on March the 27th. And it's 2 weeks out from the new F1 season as well, with Lewis Hamilton going for World Championship number 8 in 2021. The Bahrain Grand Prix is on March the 28th. Before then, F1 Drive to Survive, a series that captures the true drama of this high-octane sport. And the 2021 season launch comes your way on Friday. Arsenal, for all their domination in the first half, are not in front and perhaps not happy because it looks like they're readying for a change. Pepe could be on his way in just a moment.
Fillet of fish from a dish. Big net down a cul-de-sac. And even under a drying rack. Cheese sides for gaming vibes. Gherkin flirting. Wraps through cat wraps. Nugs on rugs. Or share box to the river. Because yes, we deliver.
So Arsenal on their way. Freddie, what have you made of the first half overall and that incredible goal?
Yeah, the goal is insane. I'm still thinking about it. It's probably the best one I've ever seen. It's the technique, it's the power and keeping it down. He even gets a bit of curl on it to keep it back in. It's insane. But it's an North London derby, so it's great.
Will Arsenal be happy though with what they've done so far, apart from conceding that goal?
No, I think they're happy how they want to play and they keep the ball and they are dominating the game and stuff. But what worries me is Spurs. When you do that against Spurs, they have Kane, they can hold the ball up, and Bale has his power and he can do that. So it makes me nervous.
Let's hope there are more spectacular moments to come then. And yes, it seems a change is afoot. Alan Smith and Martin Tyler.
Yes, David, it's Pepe for Saka has played a lot of football recently.
Saka's cool.
And Pepe
Really?
has been described from within the Arsenal campus having had a good last month. He's been inconsistent in his season and 2/3 here, but he's buying into what Mikel Arteta is trying to do. He slots straight in where Saka has been playing. So it's 1-1. It's 11 against 11 in terms of players on the field, which hasn't always been the case in the North London derby. A rash of red cards down the years. And it's the two number 11s who've got the goal for their respective clubs.
Yeah, interesting to see if Arsenal continue to be so threatening down this left-hand side. I wondered whether Mourinho even might make a substitution. Doherty really did struggle.
Lamela wants it played through the middle, but it goes from Gareth Bale to Lucas Moura. Reguilon galloping forward, trying to set up Kane, of whom we haven't seen too much. Bang on the knee on Thursday, and one wonders whether he's quite at full tilt.
Odegaard did well there. He covered a lot of ground to get back in the box and get his foot on that ball.
Remember, Arsenal hit the bar through Emil Smith Rowe. They hit the post through Cedric. And finally, by that deflection of Toby Alderweireld, hit the back of Lloris's net. So again, no clean sheet at the Emirates for the Tottenham #1 goalkeeper.
Well, bodes well for the Gunners, but a lot of work to do here if Spurs step it up. We haven't seen much of Harry Kane, as you say, Martin, whether he's 100% fit. I don't know, after getting that knock in the week.
Trying to close down David Luiz here, who picks his pass to Pepe, but Reguilon making a statement against the second half substitute. Højbjerg. Doherty, of course, really made his name at Wolves as a wing-back. He's well forward here. He's going to operate as a conventional right-back when Arsenal get the ball, and it's been difficult for him. On for Alderweireld. This is Ndombele. Those dancing feet.
Hasn't had much opportunity to do that, to drive forward in advanced areas.
It's his first North London derby. He'd like to leave a big impression on it. Here's Doherty. By Tierney, but Spurs come again. Started the second half as if Jose Mourinho's had a word, but they've got to get back in numbers here. Smith Rowe, but determined play by Davinson Sanchez.
Yeah, he does well, doesn't he? It's one or two players out of position there.
Well, claiming he was blocked off. Here's David Luiz. Now, there to go. Been a good week for him. He can help Arsenal in particular to go from his goal to win the game. Reece has put it straight to Tierney, who's got it back to Wood, like I said, I think would have been offside.
Offside.
Veered away from him. Smith Rowe.
I mean, at the start of this match, you wondered how Tierney would do defensively against Gareth Bale, but he's been like a left winger. Tierney so far, Bale giving him very little to worry about. Moving into the middle now, the Welshman, try and get involved in this game.
Gabriel. Arsenal have won only 2 of the last 7 Premier League games. As I mentioned earlier, they're 10th in the table. Worry for them here as Bale has varied his position. He's fought hard to get into a crossing position. Just a bit too much drift on it. Smith Rowe trying to come back. Arsenal's North London rivals and fouled by Lamela. Lamella's first North London derby goal incident. He made his debut September 2013 away to Arsenal in a 1-0 defeat.
He's having a good game, and so is Kieran Tierney. He got forward so much in the first half. He started the second in similar vein. Number 3.
But it is really set up for the second half if Spurs offer more. And really, a draw's not too useful for either side. It's better than losing, but especially in a North London derby, Spurs do feel, as Jose Mourinho has been stressing, looking upwards, believing the top 4 is within reach. be hoping in our later game, which has got plenty of potential, that Manchester United beat West Ham. We're currently 5th.
Yeah, I mean, his team do have a chance to finish in that top 4. Arsenal, much less so.
Well, 20 years of development at the club for Daniel Levy. But the one commodity that's always directed at his regime is the lack of trophies. They are in the League Cup final, the Carabao Cup final. Here is Tierney trying to slide it through. Sanchez again does well. Here's Lucas Moura. Turned into trouble. And then closed down Cedric. And in the end, did Kane. Odegaard, back to Gabriel. Here's Pepe. Reguilon at his heels. Cedric Odegaard had just got ahead of the ball momentarily, was available for the pass, and then runs out of room.
You would say about this Arsenal side, win, lose or draw. Since Boxing Day and that win against Chelsea, there's been a consistency of performance. Pretty much know what you're going to get overall. Obviously, his players have made some bad errors along the way, which have led to goals. But in general play, they've been
even the game
pretty good.
Like the game they lost at Wolves when they were playing really well, and then had a player sent off. Maybe that with nothing. But he also has done Mikel Arteta. He's cleared the decks a little bit during the January transfer window. A number of players departed. The suggestion is that this group are much more tightly knit.
This lad's had a fine game. Smith Rowe.
There's Tierney, deflected, made it easier for Lloris. Now he's looking for Kane. He's looking for a chance. David Luiz's header, and Gabriel's just
with a panic there.
So calmed down by Thomas Partey. There's a way out for Arsenal here. On the left. As the checker decided they can go right. On from Cedric to Pepe. I understand them wanting to look left at every opportunity, and that's going to need Lloris diving and just about preventing the corner. It was a stray header from Doherty. Also in a hurry to take the throw and maybe get forward before Spurs just set up again. Smith Rowe busy. And he was fouled, well, he wasn't fouled. Like Oliver just waving his arm in a negative way to say, I'm not going to give you anything for that. Arsenal come again.
Tottenham combination of Bale and Doherty, I mean, it's offering all sorts of possibilities. Defensively, they're not able to stem the tide.
Now, Partey. They throw into Lacazette, who can hit them from distance. And scored from that kind of range at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last season.
Does well to just withstand the initial challenge, and then it's about keeping your balance.
Reguilon. By and large, the home side has prevailed in the recent North London derbies. Two clubs with the grounds 3.5 miles apart. I mentioned the resentment caused by all those decades ago caused by Arsenal's move from South London into Tottenham territory. There was another incident started the First World War when Spurs were relegated. They finished bottom of the old First Division in the last season before the war. But the league was expanded and Spurs thought they were going to stay in it. But Arsenal, who finished 5th, were voted in and have never, of course, been out of the top flight since. Here comes Moussa Sissoko, the Spurs of today. And Gareth Bale, not a little bit of pride dented by this substitution.
Yeah, it's the Bale that we saw in the early days of his Tottenham career, just on the edges of the game. Could influence it. Not happy.
Well, maybe it's not just with the manager, maybe it's with himself. It hasn't been his best day. He's sit and watch now. Fabio won the header. It's certainly not like for like, the change. Here goes Cedric.
He's got Lamela on this right-hand side now, and Lucas Moore on the left.
Doherty. So not giving it the full press, really. It's better now. Close out the avenues of approach. Well, he's still encouraged to go short. Arsenal win it fairly against the double A. Xhaka for Tierney. He's now got Lamela to try and help him out. Doherty does it himself, intercepting Xhaka's attempted pass inside the defender. Doherty. Oh, that's a stray one from Dombele. He normally passes the ball much better than that. These are the pressures of a fixture like this. Thomas Partey blocked by Højbjerg. Ticking off for the day. One more, and that will be a yellow card. Lacazette wonders why it wasn't a yellow card this time.
Yeah, it's an intentional one.
Actually got a suspension to serve now in the Europa League after Thursday. Here's Tierney, who's done well to switch back to the byline and get a corner. So it's coming down to the last half hour here at the Emirates. 1-1. It was a half time.
Still got Arsenal.
This season, really, just the 2 goals, Arsenal.
They've drawn a couple out by offering the options for a short one. Pepe's going to take it. And they use the short one. Odegaard. Tierney. Pepe can't get the cross in. Lamela misjudges the dropping ball. Lucas Moura got involved. Lamela, but easy for Xhaka. It's a turnover that Arsenal could use to their advantage here. Pepe. David Luiz goes down the outside in a crossing position, or maybe more than that. Pepe.
Oh, God's sake!
Pepe needing to stand off it.
Back from Cedric, headed out by Sanchez. Odegaard. Now Pepe. Get his cross in. Cedric. Back to Martin Odegaard again. Thomas Partey. Can shoot from distance and does shoot. The distance in the end was width as well as how far out he was. Well, here comes Dele Alli. place of Tongi and Dumbele.
They're trying to address the defensive situation with Sissoko coming on and shifting across to this right-hand side to stop Arsenal, but trying to add something going forward now.
And he's still trying to build some credit as far as the Premier League is concerned with Jose Mourinho. Maybe there'll be a few more opportunities with Son destined, it seems, for a spell on the sidelines. Although he did the most sensible thing, which is come through. What a ball!
Oh!
Lacazette!
Oh, that's
God!
But it's a penalty.
Yes!
Say what a challenge. Davinson Sanchez will expect VAR to come to his rescue here, but Michael Oliver has given a penalty to Arsenal.
Yeah, my initial reaction was that he actually blocked the shot.
Oh, that's a clear pen.
Clear!
That's a clear pen.
Sliced it, almost an air shot. As Sanchez comes piling in.
He got nothing of the ball.
And although he got his shot away, if you could call it a shot, it is a foul after that. There's no doubt about it. Pepe, great work though. He's getting onto that attempted throw out by Lloris, was it? And then the pass into Lacazette.
This isn't a penalty.
It is a penalty. But he'd almost turned his back.
It's a penalty.
Davinson Sanchez. So he wasn't aware, perhaps, that Lacazette had wildly swung his left foot at it. Both were wild, really. Ends up as a yellow card for Sanchez. And Arsenal,
Come on, Lacazette.
who were a goal down.
He's got lack of
The curse of scoring first
He's bits.
in the North London derby
Custom made or something.
have struck the Spurs again. Alex Lacazette, captaining Arsenal here today, in somewhat dramatic circumstances, has a penalty in even more dramatic circumstances. Lacazette.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
And Arsenal come from behind to lead Tottenham. Surfaces again. Yeah, we saw his previous.
Fuck you, scum!
Got one quite in the corner like that before this season. But I mean, I think it is a foul, isn't it? So often you see a player getting shots away and then he's fouled and it's let go.
Fuck off, Mourinho. Fuck off.
Off!
I think Michael Oliver's made the right call.
It was a desperate challenge, as it turned out. But it was ice cool Alex. And now Tottenham have got to show that they have got more of an attacking side to their game than has been apparent in certain spells of the season under Jose Mourinho.
Okay, you're going to get booked in a minute.
Dele Alli's not had a chance to touch the ball, really. His team's 2-1 down.
Ah, you're taking slow to get back on our side for a kickoff.
Lacazette has taken Arsenal penalties before, but one wonders if Aubameyang had been on the pitch, whether it would have been his job. He actually had one
Of course it
saved
would
by
have been.
Lloris at Wembley. You might recall a couple of years ago when that was Tottenham's temporary home. But Lacazette was up to the task, and Arsenal are 2-1 up in the derby. Doherty. Odegaard.
Well, it's obviously got to change Tottenham's approach, which for the most part has been cautious this afternoon.
Højbjerg. Sissoko. no more personnel changes available to Jose Mourinho.
You just expect more, don't you, in a derby? I mean, they might
talking about getting into the top 4.
Well, they've got a good 25 minutes to address that.
Well, they have won their last 5 games, so it's not as though they come here short of confidence. Bale is off, Son is off. Kane has been quiet. Here's Odegaard. Cut down by Højbjerg. Got that warning earlier.
You got to book him now.
Come on, book him!
You said last one more foul.
The right, quite often.
4 fouls, yeah, then book him then.
He's been given one more chance.
Fuck off!
He's urgently trying to win the ball. That's how he's been so well received by his manager and by the Tottenham fans.
Well, we're going to see a David Luiz special here, are we? A little dipper swerver.
Oh, seriously. Oh, no, it's not.
No.
Doesn't look like I'm going to take a shot from it.
Although he does score from distance, it's going to be something of the intricate variety. Clip towards David Luiz. Odegaard wants to get there first. Lucas Moura beats him to it. Spurs trying to get their counter punching going, but they haven't really landed any blows in that respect. They have scored one of the great North London derby goals, but at the moment it's nowhere near enough.
Always got to be careful.
The card is yellow.
It's a stern look, isn't it?
Send him off.
Send him off.
It's a Lamela special, this one. Loves the tackle.
Yeah, it was there to be gone for, but he actually got to the ball, but it was a bit of a fly through the air, wasn't it, to make contact. He wears his heart on his sleeve. And his studs as well. Doherty steps in. Lamela flips it on. And Kane beaten to it by Gabriel. Ali trying to chase in the middle, but it comes out to where Gabriel can clear long. Pepe. Put in by Alderweireld. Lucas Moura has done well. He's left a couple in his wake here. Supported by Reguilon. Lamela's got into the middle. Kane in a deeper position. Højbjerg comes out to Doherty. Kane takes over. Creator as well as a scorer. And Dele Alli was so close. Brushed off his eyebrows. Lovely cross from Harry Kane. Probably the most effective thing he's done in the game.
Well, I was going to say, there aren't many matches that Harry Kane goes through and he doesn't affect it at some point. He's been as quiet as he has been for quite some time so far in this match. That was a delicious cross.
Still over 20 minutes to go. Arsenal 2, Tottenham 1. Højbjerg. Dele Alli. Now Lamela.
Now the screen.
Højbjerg. Back to Højbjerg again. Then towards Lamela, who loops it on, but not wide of Leno.
Well, this was the earlier one. It's beautifully flighted in by Harry Kane, and you're right, Dele Alli not far away at all.
Here goes Pepe. At pace. Supports a bit late arriving.
Yeah, well,
Lacazette's there. So too is Xhaka.
What's that?
Smith Rowe. Tierney's got some grass to gallop into here. Fires it across.
Oh.
Blocked away by Alderweireld. Possibilities for Arsenal. Certainly the Spurs have to chase the game. That Lamella looping header was the first attempt from Spurs since the goal. That's not enough for him. Sanchez. The chest of Gabriel. And Mikel Arteta outside the technical area. And,
Last word jump today.
Yeah.
Pursuit of
Just
justice for
doing a defensive stab.
Yeah, no shortage of tackles in this match. To Lamella again. He might have got the ball, but diving in that fashion, refs don't like it.
Pepe. Odegaard. It's going to be careful, Arsenal, not to be lured in by Tottenham, but they're less equipped to hit on the break, obviously, as we mentioned, with Bale and Son departed. Here's Pepe. Corner given. Has timed his run. Wasn't offside.
No, Tierney wanted it. Far post, he was in all sorts of space.
Pepe having a Sunday afternoon stroll over to take the corner.
Shows some pace in that great stand.
He's not showing any pace at the moment. Arsenal using up time, understandably. He's ready for the corner. He certainly did show some speed. He hits his corner with a lot of height on it. Gabriel trying to get around the back. He scored in a similar fashion in Athens on Thursday. Kane. Lucas Moura, Lamella trying to arrive, cleared by Tierney. Nicely controlled by Odegaard, who's relishing the workload that he's got from being at a club where they brought him in to play, not just to assist his development.
I'm sure they'd love to sign him, Arsenal, but the better he plays, the more Real Madrid maybe want to keep him.
David Luiz. What Arsenal don't need now, Alan, is one of those shoot themselves in the feet moment.
Don't mention it.
Here's Gabriel venturing forward, running into Matt Doherty.
Really a challenge by Harry Kane, which is a bit late. I think that's a sign of his frustration. He just can't get into this game. Centre forward, just giving his man a taste. But he won't like to see that yet to touch the ball in the opposition's box. Bit of a collector's item. Oh,
Lamella.
Boogie!
Which he has embroidered the North London derby.
Goodbye! Goodbye!
He has now let his temperament get the better of him. And Tottenham now, I mentioned it was 11 against 11 at the start of the second half. This history for this fixture is littered with sendings off, and Eric Lamella is added to that list.
Well, he has sailed close to the win with one or two
even before the
challenges,
goal.
yeah. And Michael Oliver's lost patience.
You'd be better advised to go quietly.
Bye-bye.
That's his chances of a result here gone with that. Well, with this.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking at Tierney at the corner of his eye.
Look at Mourinho.
Yeah.
Mourinho knew.
It's a bit more than a fend off. There's a little bit more force in it. And it's too high.
There's no sense of indignation or injustice. I thought maybe first and
William's
foremost when it
coming up.
actually happened in real time, he was thinking that Kieran Tierney had made too much of it, but it was a real shove in the face. So Arsenal have a goal advantage. They now have a man advantage. Williams' experience for the youthful. Well, it's more than promise now. He's delivering.
He is consistently. But William has done well as well recently, so that's a bonus for Arteta. But what a future this lad's got.
William, of course, who very nearly joined Tottenham, was on the verge of signing for them. Chelsea came in and persuaded him to make a move to a different part of London. He's in the north now, but in red and white, with the kind of know-how to help Arsenal get across the line. But still a good 15 minutes to go. Sissoko, Doherty, has done well. So that's a tackle. That's born of plenty of battles against Spurs, and well, he had to get that right.
He did.
Otherwise, it would have been 10 against 10.
Yeah, Doherty did get his toe there first, but Xhaka really connected solidly with the ball.
Tottenham's corner. Kane gets to it. Meno should get to it. Despite the efforts of Davinson Sanchez, who, of course, conceded the penalty, from which Arsenal took the lead.
It's a strange one, though. You look at the team sheet today for Tottenham and you're expecting them to be so much more adventurous than they have been. They had the players to do it, to continue the theme that, they've adopted, taking the game to the opposition, scoring goals with Bale flying high, and it just didn't happen.
Well, you throw into that mix, Alan, Aubameyang being left out for disciplinary reasons. There's a head-on here from Lucas Moura, and Harry Kane looks for Dele Alli, ready on making the ground up, but not in time. And the fact that Arsenal have been to Athens and back, and Spurs have played at home on the Thursday because those fixtures were reversed at UEFA say so. So there was a lot going for Tottenham. 5 wins in a row as well. Derbies, as you know better than any of us, do strange things to certainly form and also attitudes as well.
Well, 10 men or not, Spurs still in this match. Other players out there that can produce something.
If you're going to be helped out like that, have a corner.
Oh, for God's sake.
Very generous, unintentionally, of course, by Thomas Partey. That's what I mean about doing strange things to people.
They've got a bollock off David Luiz, who is no stranger to those kind of situations himself.
Well, this is one way that Tottenham can get back into it. Sissoko by the front post. Sanchez is in there, and of course Kane and Alderweireld as well. Kane launched himself at it. This is Willian. Cleared by Gabriel, and as far as the head of Højbjerg now. Xhaka. Odegaard. Now Pepe, who's been bright since coming on at the start of the second half. Back for Odegaard again. Pepe again. Partey. It's a little bit short for Cedric. And the alley had the purpose to go back and win it. Here's Kane. Højbjerg. Now Sanchez. Tottenham having to dig deep in the derby. Doherty.
They've got nothing to lose, and this spell now might see Tottenham at their most dangerous.
Xhaka lost himself out at this time. He is going to get a yellow card. Lucas Moura on the deck. Arsenal's capacity for self-destruction being examined here.
Yeah, this would hurt badly if they were not to win this.
Here's Lucas Moura lining up the free kick. And with plenty to aim at. Oh, and the header has gone in.
Way!
Off you.
Suddenly emerged from the shadows of this fixture to centre stage. It will be checked, but he has the air of a man who looks as though he thought he was offside.
He's off.
You usually
Way!
first sniff of goal that he's had, and no surprise he tucks it away. And that's a warning to the Gunners.
It's a great header.
It is.
It's a pain for Kane and for Tottenham. Not a proper decision. And it would have been ruled out pre-VAR as well. And technology only confirmed. Tottenham, as you would expect, having a go. This is since the Lamela departure.
Yeah, well, they have got to go for it now. All or nothing.
Tierney and going, well, we've got an extra man. Why is no one running for that? I think Kieran Tierney's pretty battle hardened for these kind of games, having come through all those Old Firm matches. 13 Old Firm games, and in regulation time he never lost. Here he is. Partey.
That's a lovely touch.
Højbjerg in. Lacazette. Odegaard. Thinking about the kind of shot that he hit on Thursday. I think Arsenal caught in two minds here. Some of them wanting to push on to secure the victory, get an insurance goal, and others mindful of the clock. And the second policy is suiting Spurs. Not the end of the day's action, of course, on Sky Sports. The two Uniteds, Manchester United and West Ham United, go head-to-head. Two of the top five. Follows on when we finished here.
Yeah, we saw Arsenal come undone, didn't we, so often towards the end of the Wenger years, going for the third and conceding equaliser. Under Arteta, you'd like to think there's a bit more now, a bit more game management.
What we also saw in the Wenger years was how good his Arsenal were when they were 10 against 11, which happened quite a lot. So Spurs trying to turn the tables. They've come close a couple of times since being depleted. Lucas Moura giving it body and soul here. And Kane coming in. David Luiz was backpedaling. Vital touch for Arsenal.
Yeah, but then thought about it and then backtracked, stayed on his line.
Can Spurs find a rescue package here in the closing minutes at the Emirates? Ground that's been a real graveyard for them. The crowd burnt Leno. Lucas Moura puts it in towards the goalkeeper, Ops, although he was unchallenged to fist it away. Reguilon heads it up in the air. And he back in by Alderweireld. Leno happy to drop on it. William. Tierney. Oh, for Mikel Arteta to win this game on the day where he's laid down the law to his squad, really, by dropping his captain.
Yeah, nobody's indispensable. It's a team game.
The point is always made that much greater if you win the game, which is affected by it. So Lacazette comes off. It's very much what we have, we hold change. Mohamed El Neni, Steve Round is with him there, who's been working with El Neni on his shooting. And he scored a great goal in Athens to wrap up that first leg win over Olympiacos. But I don't think he's been brought on for his shooting now. No.
Yeah, he's a striker now.
Very popular member of the Arsenal setup, Mohamed El Neni.
Look for all the world as if he's going to leave the club. New lease of life.
Now goes Lucas Moura, free kick. Arsenal not doing it the easy way.
Yeah, Lucas Moura giving it his all, trying to drag his team forward.
Well, probably we talked about the front four, the least celebrated week in, week out member of it. He's out there at the forefront of Spurs' attempt to find a late goal here, and in these circumstances, it would feel like a win. It would certainly feel like a loss for him.
Well, you can't believe that Thomas Partey's giving away a free kick here. Just stay goal side.
Yeah, Kane's going nowhere. The Spurs might be going somewhere here, somewhere significant. Because it is the leading scorer all time.
He's not going to cross from here.
He's expecting a shot, Ben Leno. And they've got the draft excluder down. As it goes under the wall. Harry Kane. Coming up to the 90th minute. Tottenham need him. Oh, and he's hit the post! The follow-up! From Sanchez. How close is that for Harry Kane and for Tottenham Hotspur? Gabriel, the hero in the end.
Yeah, he was on his toes. Leno goes one way, the ball goes the other. He's gambling the keeper, and then he's on the deck, and he's got his centre-half to thank for keeping out the equaliser.
First come again. Oh,
it's
too long. It'll be retrieved here from Doherty, retrieved by Dele Alli. Fire it across. And that's just to get it out of harm's way by Odegaard, who was the furthest forward for us. They're trying to get players up the pitch. It's what Arteta wants them to do that. So they've got
Get the ball! Get the ball!
And it's
I'm stuck in bed running back.
Get
away.
Cedric.
Where's the 5 minutes come from?
5 minutes.
I'll be screaming at the telly, why didn't we do this earlier? Why weren't we more attack-minded?
So since they're down to 10 men, Kane's had a goal disallowed correctly. Hit the post. Davinson Sanchez denied in the end by that Brazilian block. Here comes Pepe, but Alderweireld had him in his eye line. Lucas Moura. Højbjerg, straight to the broad-chested.
Just keep the ball now.
Odegaard, William, thinking of perhaps of taking it to the corner. No, to Odegaard.
Yep. It's time to keep the ball if you can now.
Oh,
Oh, for fuck's sake!
No, that's too long for Kane. Spurs having
Just keep
been
the
given
ball.
possession, giving it straight back.
Not that way, though. Boot it out the field.
This time, almost disobeying instructions to kick long. It's headed straight back at Arsenal by Sanchez. Tierney, off he goes.
Oh my God, here he goes. Oh.
And the flag is up. And time is also up.
It's not.
Oh, no whistle then.
What crocodile got in this video? This again.
Long from the race up towards Sissoko. Lucas Moura.
Come on then, somebody's got a blow.
I've only got a 3-minute fast clock.
Looked on by Kane, but no one chasing in.
Pick it up!
I know, what the fuck are you doing? Fucking hell!
Well, he's nearly there. Had a very good record as a player for Arsenal against Spurs. But managed 2, lost 2. But both of those on Tottenham's territory. Here's Dele Alli, fouled by El Neni, but Sanchez goes long. Spurs need numbers forward to support Kane. Lucas Moura.
It would be a great victory against a Spurs team that was on the up, playing well, winning matches.
Here's Lucas Moura. It's not in the bag yet. It's a great run. Here we go.
Oh. Lucas Moura has done so well these last 10, 15
It's
minutes.
almost been a one-man band.
Yeah. The tricks, the strength, sheer determination to get his team forward.
Gabriel stepped out. Partey came back from behind him. A combination challenge. Oh, by Harry Kane standards, this is a real chance. Cedric is given the job of lying prone.
Well, Bernd Leno, I think he gets almost spooked by Harry Kane the first time, and he gambles, goes to his right.
There is another alternative because it does favour a left footer, Reguilon, but the right footer is Harry Kane. And there he goes.
Hey!
As the ball rose, Spurs' hopes fell.
Just
Getting
keep the
something
ball,
from the game.
just wait,
Here, look,
and then the
matchups,
ref will
everything.
blow.
Well, someone was injured early. That was a blow. Lamela comes on and scores a truly amazing goal, but then gets himself sent off. And the penalty, which was as unusual in its own way as was the Lamela goal.
Yeah.
Now it's Lacazette who's made the headlines. Aubameyang for the wrong reason, Lacazette for the right reason. Arsenal are nearly there. Up towards Pepe. Reguilon.
Yeah!
Local prestige in North London.
Hey!
Derby's without a win. Mikel Arteta has got the better of Jose Mourinho.
Yes!
And he takes defeat in the proper manner. But Tottenham didn't really turn up with the sort of style that 5 wins in a row suggested they might have done. The possibility of a double, the possibility of a rare win here. And Harry Kane only came good towards the end, hitting the post, goal disallowed. The penalty will be a talking point. Sanchez has his view, but it looked, with all the replays, the right decision. And Lacazette, who got away with a slash at the ball, then drove home the resultant spot kick. Arsenal came from behind. That's often the way in the North London derbies. Odegaard, by a deflection, had equalised. And the dimming memory, really, of a wonderful moment for Eric Lamela, because it's been spoilt by him getting himself sent off. And that was a blow that Spurs really couldn't recover from it. It's the end of Spurs' 5-match winning streak. It is a defeat that will stick in their throats.
Thank you for watching.
Here in Arsenal territory. Still only 2 wins now of 29 Premier League.